Welcome to the Take It Home podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at Doc Simmons 17. Tonight, it's just the out-of-town shooters handling business. I got the hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. And of course, look up your mama's favorites at Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram. And when you're looking for X to mark the spot, you check out Country Air Brand, baby.
There you go. We got something. Yes. How we feeling today, brother? Did we have any good breakfast over the weekend?
Any good breakfast? I don't know. I know right now Val's in the kitchen clanging and banging these pots, making us some chow mein.
Oh, well, that's always good.
We did I know this weekend I got some Rosati's pizza with the boys, and we tried Jack in the Box.
Oh, yep, we did do Jack in the Box. That was a thing.
That was pretty good. I got the cluck or whatever. That was pretty good.
I got some chicken and waffles from somewhere. I can't remember where I went, but they were good. Oh, cheesecake. We went to Cheesecake Factory. I had chicken and waffles. They've got a decent brunch menu. So,
oh, nice.
Enjoyed it very much. And I don't want to assume because you tend to have one, but sir, do you have a banger of the week for this week since Perch isn't here?
I don't have one prepared, but I can always check out what the latest hits are on my Spotify.
Oh, I got one then anyway.
All right.
Franco-Eyed by Dirty Heads. Friggin', last month I went on that lake trip with my friends. And we all put on, we made this giant playlist that we all added to, playing like our old high school and college jams. And I had totally forgotten that Dirty Heads existed. And Franco-Eyed has been a good banger to get me going in the morning.
I'll have to check that out because I am music and literate and I never heard it.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. You're a pretty face though.
That's all that matters.
So, did you watch anything interesting over the past week?
Wrestling wise, I watched SmackDown live because I had a Friday off, so I got to watch Friday night SmackDown. It makes you realize how much like WWE a few years ago they had the problem of was who's going to beat Roman. Now it's kind of like there's plenty of options and different ways they can go. So like you definitely tell with the takeover of everything with Triple H being in full control. Like you can see there's a lot more. You just feel more possibilities. Before it was just like it had to be Brock or Roman. It didn't feel like anyone else besides those two. And now you have Cody, you have Jay, you have LA Knight, you have Gunther, like no matter what is always going to be a threat. Like you have all these guys, potential opportunists to like become the next champion. Like I guess it's like, oh, who's going to beat Roman? So I got to watch that. They definitely like feels like with the way they had to stare off with Cody and Roman that could be the main event next year, which would make sense. But other than that, I've watched some Goosebumps on the new Goosebumps on Hulu.
Okay.
And I got 2 movies left in my Saw series, and I'm done. All I got left is Spiral and Saw 10.
All right. Awesome. I think me and K-Dot actually just talked about it. We're going to do a Scream marathon. I don't know how Halloween is becoming our holiday because I know it was not before we met or the past 9 years together has Halloween really ever been a thing? Or I guess I should probably say like 7 years because it's been like 3 years now that Halloween is becoming our thing for some reason. But hey,
that's pretty good though. Like Val will not watch any scary movie series with me, so I'm shocked that she suggested to watch the Goosebumps.
I did see that. I just Like I rarely get on Hulu, and I think I saw that today.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely highly recommend watching, but it's not like the old school Goosebumps. That's all
Okay,
I can say.
all right. Me myself, wrestling wise, I watched that Dynamite. I pick sides. Unfortunately, I just didn't feel like switching back and forth. When you cut the cords, it's different. Switching back and forth between apps than it is just switching between channels. So I picked my poison. I rode with Title Tuesday, and it was a good one. Mox was hurt, so we had Phoenix versus Cassidy. I just came in at the end to see Cassidy take the win. I'm sure that match was a banger. I might go back and watch that. Hangman Page and Jay White, the Bullet Club Gold entrance, going with the Guns entrance. Smart move, very smart move.
Yeah, like you could like you're not gonna. That's the one of the best entrances right now in wrestling. Like I'm 100% like yeah, I'm putting him in my faction. Like Jay White was like, "Yo, you guys only in the faction, so I can steal your entrance." So
Yeah,
like, enjoy it.
and the times that Tony Khan will put up the money to get mini men, because he did say, I won't do it all the time, but I will do it sometime. So super excited for when that happens again. Yeah, Bullet Club Gold, they're just some dastardly heels. Um, Max came out at the end of the match to make the challenge. Oh, I did this in the wrong order. I was like, I knew there was an order to this. Earlier the night, Swerve and Danielson. Because I was like, how did this match end? Swerve and Danielson earlier in the night. As good as you would imagine it would be. My only complaint is I wish they would have gotten more time. Um, like get
That
that.
sounds like a pay-per-view match, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, they needed that pay-per-view time. But no, yep, really good. Both of those guys are super slick. It did look like it took a second for them to feel each other out, but once they got into it, it was good shit. Freaking Swerve is a star. Um, he's like, I'll get into it a little bit later. Like, I don't know when his time will be, but I hope they don't miss it. But boy, it was towards the end of the match. Prince Nana was distracting the ref. Swerve has the crowd. Hangman Page comes out, stops Swerve from taking the crown, and that leads to Swerve losing to Danielson. So when we get Page versus White, um, our good old homie Prince Nana comes out with the crown, distracts Page. Here comes Swerve. Swerve, like the camera, he's got to be telling the cameraman where to set up because he is so good at coming with these like out of nowhere house calls.
Dude, Swerve's the next guy. Like, I mean, Jay White eventually is gonna be a world champion there, but I just feel like Swerve's the next champ. Like,
You see, I'm with you, but this gets into the match that I think happened like right after this. Hobbs and Jericho. They are putting Hobbs over hard. Hobbs went clean over
destroy
Jericho.
Jericho.
Huh?
Did he
He didn't
destroy
destroy
Jericho?
Jericho, but it was like 65-35.
Yeah, but I mean, Hobbs is like definitely a guy, but like,
I'm not saying that he's the next guy, but I'm looking at him. I'm looking at that, like, how they have the four pillars. We've talked about they have always been obvious about like that next group of guys being Hobbs, Garcia, and guys like that. And you see how popular Garcia is. You see how popular Hobbs is. MJF is having a hell of a run as a babyface. I don't think Jay White takes it.
um,
I think in a couple months when it's time to drop, when it's time for MJF to drop it, it could be interesting.
yeah, I mean, very true. I just feel like, obviously they're setting up Hangman versus Swerve, and if
Yep.
wrestling's, and if you're trying to do the good old boy story, Hangman's gonna get his win back, but I hope not. I just hope Swerve like kicks his fucking head off. Like Swerve, like whatever he's doing has been making it work, and like I think he like if they use him right the way he's doing it, Like he should beat. I don't know. I was hoping he would beat Thanos, but like Swerve's like right now the guy I'm liking, and I want to see have like most success in AEW right now because like
Oh no, I'm right
um,
there with you. We this is the Swerve house of the Nichols Madison home. It is a Swerve house. We are fully behind. I shouldn't say we're fully behind because K Dot misses his indie entrance song and does not a big fan of the rap mogul gimmick, but deep in her heart, she still got love for Swerve. So this still stands a Swerve house.
yeah, you can come in and yell whose house and Havoc will let them
Yeah,
know
it's not Doc's house.
Swerve House.
It's Swerve's house. Saraya and Hikaru Shida for the women's title was very good. I feel like this might have been the best match that Saraya's had since she's been back. But no, it's really good. Believable falsies. Hot finish. There's really nothing else to say. Hikaru Shida is really good. This is their third championship now, I believe. Um, hopefully they give her something.
Yeah, that was like crazy. The women's division's kind of wild how much that belt gets tossed around.
I think the problem is too many of them are over. They have a problem.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like I mean, I don't watch as much as I should, but like I didn't get how like Ruby, Soraya, and Tony just stopped being a team, and Tony like I get Tony's doing her thing and what she's doing super cool, but like I just feel like they randomly just killed their tag gimmick.
I mean, it was like multi-woman match. I want to say Tony betrayed, but then the next week it was like we got this timeless Tony gimmick like going, which love timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah, I heard like she has been very entertaining, especially like when she knows it's about to be a commercial break and she gets her
Yeah. I'd say her going to commercial break is much better than Sammy's size during the commercial break. I definitely prefer Tony sending us the commercial break in the middle of the match and her silent movies during picture-in-picture commercials.
wait, she'll do silent picture stuff.
Yeah, she did like a silent movie during a commercial break.
All right, that's pretty creative.
Yeah, it's they are doing some stuff. Like if you say AEW ain't got character, just ain't looking right. Just ain't looking.
Group.
Non-wrestling. Oh, and Copeland versus Luchasaurus. I think my problem with this is I think I only like hour-long weekly television wrestling.
No, yeah, for the long haul.
It was like 15 minutes over. The show ran like
Oh,
15 minutes over.
let's say you were talking about how you don't like that Dynamite's been running over its time.
Yeah, like it my attention span as I'm getting older is just shrinking and shrinking. And I think about the days when like NXT was like an hour, Lucha Underground was an hour, and that was like, wow,
Wasn't
perfect.
Impact wasn't I don't know. I feel like
I,
Impact for a while might have been an hour.
I think it was, but I think like hour is my sweet spot. That was really my thing with it. It was a good match. I don't know. It's like somebody said something like the electricity of having Edge there, but once the bell rang, it was like kind of not there. And I don't know if it's maybe just because it's Luchasaurus. Like I'm not interested in that match, but it was a good
I
match.
mean, I think it's not like a dream match. Like you like I mean, no disrespect to Luchasaurus, but like
Yeah,
you have Edge there, you think of all the endless possibilities, and then like you're like, oh yeah, like I mean, Luchasaurus works, I guess, because that's like the henchmen, but
yeah. Like I get it, but it's just like yeah, it just wasn't super interested in it. But it was a good match. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was here, but could have been something else.
Yeah, it could have been something else. Yes, I feel like, and that's the thing is just like, I almost feel like I would have been more interested in him versus Nick Wayne.
Yeah, him versus Nick Wayne, like a young guy.
Not yeah, it's the same thing. Like I do like Luchasaurus. I like Luchasaurus a lot. I think he is what he does is very smooth in the ring for such a
I
long.
think it's a little overwhelming. Like Luchasaurus, like I don't know. I feel like Luchasaurus they should have built a Luchasaurus like he's like the big guy. He's like the henchman, but like
He should be a
Edge
later
and
henchman.
yeah, like with Edge, like his like whoever match he's having first, he's winning. So him taking on the big guy right at the back, kind of like watered down Luchasaurus in a way.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. Make Luchasaurus feel like a bigger deal. Maybe that's what it is. But
Maybe it's
good
like
match.
have him go
I don't
against
like that the show went 15 minutes over, but that's me being a crotchety old man.
stubborn old man.
Yeah. Non-wrestling. I finished my latest Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider 5. Unfortunately, from this one, I really enjoyed this one, but did not get inspiration for new tag moves from this one. Um, Action in it was directed very different from Revice. It has that. It almost has that Christopher Nolan Batman vibe of combat actually to it. A lot rougher. But good series. I enjoyed it. Literally finished it like maybe an hour before we logged on. But yeah, finished that. Gotta move on to something else. Haven't decided yet. There's a lot more Kamen Rider to watch. There's a lot more Toku. There's a lot more fucking like I gotta catch up on South Park at some point, and I've been
Oh,
kind of
dude,
feeling
South
for
Park
that.
is gonna be.
So this is it's the world is an endless bounty of entertainment.
South Park's gonna have a new Paramount special next Friday. Um, we'll talk about what we're doing next Friday when that time comes. But yeah, looking forward to that one. It's like it's supposed to be like AI generated.
Mm,
But if you watch the South, we obviously you haven't because I try always asking you. But when you start watching the Paramount specials, they're pretty funny and they try to keep it up to date. There
okay.
are some things you're like, I wish they would answer, but they never answer. And I think that's just a part of the Trey Parker formula. Trey
Yeah.
Parker and Matt Thing formula is like, hey, we're gonna just make you wonder.
Mm-hmm. No, I
But
did see like the trailer for it. It does look good. It does make me wish I had been completely caught up. But yeah, so that is also on the list for possible things to catch up on. Anime is anime.
have you watched the new Beavis and Butthead?
Nope, and that's another one that that you can throw on the list.
Just out here adding on to the go-host list.
Yeah, so I got plenty of Star Wars series to watch. Most of Marvel Phase 4. So we'll see. I'll pick my poison. I don't need to do a 50 episode series all the time.
Uh,
All right.
yeah.
So while I was watching Kamen Rider 5, we were also doing wrestling occasionally. Why don't we talk about what we did, Zach? Thursday was I mean, both days were big ones for us. Thursday
Yeah,
was the first big
Thursday
one.
was we made the drive down to Granite City, Illinois, Big Fight Fields, St. Louis Anarchy, and we were in our debut main show match. We tagged up Brogan Finley against Technicolor Hardcore. Shout out to Mackenzie, Victor Analog, and Billy
Billy McNeil.
McNeil. That's what I thought, but I like. But yeah, I thought the show was great. I thought we had a good performance. What do you think?
No, yeah, thought the match was great. Not happy with the result. But crowd was super into it. Crowd was hot. Um, it wasn't cold for an outdoor show, so I really enjoyed that. And it was great to lock up with those other four guys. First time touching all of them.
Hell yeah! And then you know your match is good when you do a dive and well, I did a dive, but someone does a dive and takes out a fan. You gotta love that moments.
Yep.
And you're like, oh shoot. No, the match was wild. That was wild, that main event, though.
Nope, yep, that main event was wild. That is free on YouTube. Go to the St. Louis Anarchy YouTube page to check out Gary J versus Masato Tanaka.
Tanaka and Gary J beat the hell out of each other. There's brainbusters on the pavement,
Yeah,
tables, spots. It was just wild.
yeah. That was like Tanaka is still that dude. And yeah, that was a hell of a matchup. But Saturday, the second big one, we drove to LaSalle, Illinois for the one I've been waiting for the Knights of Columbus, where he debuted for Dreamwave.
Yep, we got to open the show. Fatal four way tag team elimination. It was your boys, Country Air, taking on Wasted Youth, taking on Zesh Enterprise, and Seduction and Destruction. Also
Seduce and
part of
destroy.
Seduce and Destroy, also part of Zesh LLC. Um, I thought the match could have been better, as in like we could have became the new interim Dreamwave Tag Team Champions.
Yep.
But if it was a one fall to a finish, we would have.
Yes, we did get the first fall quick with it. Zach took over. Unfortunately, I did suffer an injury in the match. I will be out for a couple weeks. I'm resting up as best as I can to come back as fast as I can. But Zach held it down, did his thing, was able to get that first fall.
If you wonder what I did, check out the homies wrestling with unicorns because they damn near captured all my stuff.
Yep. They put Zach over super hard. Martin was a big fan.
Yep, got to do the cartwheel German, hit a brain buster, swing a flatliner, and then got fucking a hip in the face of an ass.
Yep, that steel
Happens
ass,
fast.
unfortunately.
Happens so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, middle of the match, you hear like he's down. You're like, who's down? And then when you realize it's the homie, panic mode comes in, and you just start. You don't do any of these chop them down. You just go for big shots, and luckily they landed on Bucky, got the win. Unfortunately, was eliminated by Jay Fowler, but it was all good because the homies wasted youth. Um, they gave Fowler a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. They got the win, new interim Dreamwave Tag Team Champions. Um, we didn't really get to touch wasted youth, but I mean, I think we were on the radar after that night, even though despite the situation.
Yep. Yep. So Dreamwave fans, if you're listening, trust we'll be back.
We plan to be back and hopefully show you what we're capable of. It is what it is, but we are going to come back, and the goal is always the same. We got to collect for the Treehouse of Champions.
Yep.
Coming out December 2024, Treehouse of Champions 2. Boom, boom, boom. Add pyro.
For show. All right. Why don't we get into the topic tonight? What has made you was the happiest you have been as a fan of pro wrestling? And I'll go first. For me, it has to be Batista's turn on the rest of Evolution. Um, I was actually talking about it at work today with a guy. Like that Evolution era is just so good. They were so dastardly. And year before you got the turn on Randy Orton, and I was a huge Randy Orton fan out of Evolution. So I was hurt then. And then you see this, Batista, he's having his run. He's awesome, getting that steam behind him. And it's the same situation. But when he beats Hunter to the punch, elation. It was it's probably like the happiest moment I've ever had in wrestling. Because hated Triple H back then. He was the worst. But it's one of the things you get older and you see why he did it. But that he was good at his job. But that would probably be like the thing that made me happiest as a wrestling fan.
Bro, I was talking to someone about it because we were talking about Chris Benoit and how without Benoit, the Royal Rumble wouldn't have felt as bigger of a deal as it was. Like you got the win. You're like you got to go after the World Championship, but Benoit was the first guy to be like, I don't have to stay on my home brand. I can jump ship now.
Yeah.
Like his Paul, they did the story where Paul Heyman just treated him like shit. And then after that, every year later, they always had the general managers campaigning for the Rumble winner like it was a number one draft pick. And I always felt like that made it bigger.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, yeah, like Triple H was always talking, like, he was like, yeah, they were talking shit about Dave and how stupid he was. But in front of us, I was like, yeah, go to SmackDown, win the belt.
Yeah.
Like, that's the right call for you. You belong on SmackDown, which, funny thing is, after that, he becomes the face of SmackDown for the longest time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I don't know, like, the most exciting time for me. I mean, definitely was super pumped when like the Outlaws won the tag belts, like back when they came back, just because like I always said it'd be cool to have legends come back and actually get a good title run. Like you see Road Dogg and Billy Gunn taking on the tag belts, and you're like, yeah, like that's gonna happen. They're old, and then they win. You're like, oh, they're here for a while. So that made me happy just knowing that I get to watch more of the New Age Outlaws. Um, I think I was maybe excited. Like I was a big Punk fan, so I was pretty excited when Punk first came to ECW back on the Sci-Fi brand. But I'm
Hmm.
trying to remember, like I think like if we're just talking about overall like best time being a fan. I think it's every time we go to Mania. Like the last few times, like our first time going to Mania, I just remember us walking up and just seeing everything. I was like, oh shit! You get to feel the atmosphere. Just so that feeling alone, and just like watching you do the bunny dance, it's pretty hot.
Yeah.
And then the year after, like I've been like enjoying the experiences where the guys want to ride with. So like the year after, we got to go with like the Caribbeans, Armando, and like just watching how Chucky was pumped and like being like, yeah, bro, like I guess the live events is like the best time to be a fan because of the atmosphere. But I mean, I'm sure there's times where I'm like, oh yeah, this was make me pump, and I'll remember like later on. But like if I'm thinking about it right now, it's probably just like every time we all go to the shows together as a fan and like hang out.
Yeah, yeah, those are good ones. Yeah, you're not wrong. Good pick, good pick. All right. I know you said you want to get into it, or maybe we're talking about for next week, but what do we have this weekend?
Um, I don't know. I Doc is not wrestling this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pulling out the Paul Heyman spoiler, but as he said, he injured himself, so taking some breaks, relaxing. Right?
Yep,
Is that the plan?
that is the plan for me. Yep, I will be laid up, leg elevated, wonderful ice packs and knee braces that my beautiful haired partner Zach Hendricks brought for me.
No, no problem.
So
But
yeah, that's my plan for the weekend.
me, for those who didn't know, my grandfather did pass away last Friday, 13th. But well, I'll be driving tomorrow night to Kentucky for his funeral services on Thursday. So if anyone's paying attention, that means we're filming this podcast on a Tuesday, helping you out. No, I'm playing. But yeah, I got the funeral service Thursday at 10 a.m. Then I'll be coming back Friday. I will be at ICW. I don't know. I don't think I'm wrestling. I'm trying to politic to host the show because it's Treehouse of Insanity. I got a phenomenal shirt. I think I can fucking do the introductions, maybe switch it up a little bit, start switching some matches. Um, you know, trying to, the show is made for us, so maybe try to get a presence in there somewhere. And then Saturday, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm at 0-1. I'm not sure. I haven't got the call. So it's like up in the air. Like if I'm needed and they need me, I'll be there. If not, it's not a bad idea to rest the body as well. Take the break while Doc takes the break and like, just do some other stuff. But it's a weird weekend for country, We're blessed to say in the last like 5 years as a tag team, we haven't really been through this road much.
Yeah.
It's been one other time. But even then, like I think it just unfortunately we are now like really hitting our strides. So it feels weird to be like, oh, what do we do when one of us can't do it?
Yep. Yep. We're hitting that right of the tag team. So this will be an interesting couple weeks, folks. Just please hold on. Be patient. I will be back.
Yep. Getting the was it the comeback's better than the setback?
Yep,
Yes,
definitely.
sir.
All right. So Zach, any final thoughts or questions?
Um, yeah, if you're wrestling, man, you got moves you're doing, stick to your guns, know how you execute your moves, if someone explains to you a way, like, be open to suggestions, but if like ways you do your things, stick to your guns.
Yep. Stick to your
It's your
guns.
move.
Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns is yeah, that's a good way to go out. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. One.